Princess treatment only, and I just met a guy who does just that. If you're new here, welcome to my dating diaries where I overshare my dating life in New York. This guy slid into my DMs on Instagram saying that my dating diaries are very downtown based and I should have an uptown edition, so let's call this guy Uptown Man. I asked what a night uptown entails and he said shopping at Hermes and dinner at Daniel. At first I thought he was kidding, but then when he called me a car, I saw that the end location was Hermes on Madison Ave. Once I arrived, I met him inside the store and I was greeted with champagne, and then we went straight to the shoe section. I tried on the orange sandals and was debating between the brown and white. He preferred the white, so I went with that. He then checked out and we walked over to Daniel. Uptown Man was an extreme gentleman and he told me he believes in princess treatment only. He talked me up like no other and told me I'm so worthy for a 21-year-old. We talked about our favorite spots in London, Paris, and Saint-Tropez. That's when I told him I'm going to Paris at the end of this week and he offered to make me reservations while I'm there. He told me that I'm worth so much more than a last-minute reservation at some mid-bar downtown. Also, the food and drinks at Daniel was top tier. It was probably one of the best dinners I've ever had. This was the best part. At the end of dinner, he offered to bring me back to the kitchen to meet the chef at the restaurant. Before going our separate ways, we made plans to see each other once I'm back in town. He then called me a car and texted me immediately after. Uptown Man sets the bar extremely high. Ladies, don't listen to any dusty man when they tell you your standards are too high.
Yeah, that's definitely one working gal, and someone should tell her that's not a dating Instagram page. That's a lady of the night Instagram page. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name's Luke Radowski here of WeAreChange.org, and there's a lot of absolutely crazy, wild, and bewildering news to get into today, as, of course, domestically, the situation is not all right, especially with the huge amounts of debt that the United States is in. But don't worry, we have more political prosecution to worry about, as, of course, the justice system, comedians, and TV pundits are all setting their teeth on the former president of the United States that they have in their targets because, yeah, obviously, they have their priorities straight, right? We're going to be talking about that, plus all the latest news here on this independent media broadcast. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you can get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast is from what looks like an actual Instagram user of this young woman. By the way, the sandals here, I don't know about you, they're ugly, but that's just my opinion. But highlights, more importantly, the larger socioeconomic situation in places like New York City. Clearly, people are for sale, especially if they're young and 21 years of age. And what did you expect in one of the most expensive places to live with some of the highest taxes and the quality of life dwindling there? As, of course, federally, we're also dealing with a very similar situation as interest payments on America's $34 trillion of debt will now exceed our defense spending this year, as the United States government will be paying nearly $700 billion per year for interest just on the national debt itself. Where does all that money go to? Who receives all that money? Why are we living under a quasi-private public Federal Reserve banking system? What's really happening here? Well, shut up, slave. Stop asking questions and accept your new overlords and your new neighbors that they're importing from the third world, as, of course, places like New York City also have to deal with tens of thousands of migrants that are being shipped into the city that is deeming itself a sanctuary city and literally paying people to be in luxury hotels, paying for their breakfast, their lunch, their dinners, and giving them thousands of dollars all for free just by being an illegal. This, as there was another major brawl and criminal activity that, of course, has been uncovered in one of these migrant shelters, as illegals have more rights than American citizens. As we have another headline here from the New York Post detailing how an Amazon driver just fended off attacks from drunk, naked New York City migrants and ended up in cuffs himself. Why? Because self-defense is illegal in New York City, as, of course, criminality is being normalized. As the city becomes more and more dangerous, as, of course, criminals are usually routinely given a slap on the wrist, while people who actually defend themselves are sent to jail, as, of course, politicians who clearly are not all there, who clearly are puppets, sell you down the river to the highest corporate banking cartel and secret organization that really does secretly call the shots here, as politicians like Bob Menendez are literally caught with cash-stuffed safes, gold bars that have been tied to burglaries, with no-bid contracts, with bribes, with extortion efforts, with contracts that, of course, all go unpunished, while you will have to face the fullest extent of the law if you dare to believe in a political idea that the establishment doesn't like. As, of course, even Joe Rogan has come out and said that the puppet Joe Biden will be forced to step down, as of course there's other powers more influential, more impactful than he is, the alleged president of the United States. As of course the only thing that you could really rely on in this country is you yourself as an individual having personal responsibility and making sure you make the right decisions for yourself. And this is what we strive to do, all on lukeunfiltered.com. By the way, we're going to have a members meetup in Fort Lauderdale, Florida this upcoming March 2nd in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It's only available to members of lukeunfiltered.com. So if you're not a member, what are you waiting for? Also, members get the ability to call in to the live podcast show that we're going to be doing later on today, 6 p.m. Eastern, with Miss Morgan. Make sure you take that opportunity to call in. You could do that by becoming a member and signing up to the Telegram channel, where you get to talk to other like-minded members. Also wanted to remind you guys, as of course there's a war on for your health, to check out wearechange.shop, our own line of supplements that I use, that I personally really like, that I think you guys will like and use, as well as, of course, a lot of people who come in and out of this place use this stuff. A lot of guests, I don't want to reveal their kind of identities, but especially when it comes to the magnesium glycinate that we have, helped a lot of people that I know sleep, especially if they take it with their last meal of the day, as we have a lot of really incredible supplements only available on wearechange.shop that you should take advantage of, as of course supplies are running out, and because of logistics, labor costs, and just the overall cost of business, which is absolutely incredibly freaking expensive. We probably won't be selling these in the future, so get them while supplies last, all on wearechange.shop. Click the link down in the description below. Start your own independent health journey right now. Check out some of the amazing products that we have available to you. We're almost out of some of these products, and they're some of the best products out there on the market. Again, I use this stuff. I really like this stuff. I think you will too. Make sure it is right for you. Make sure to start your own health journey, all by going to wearechange.shop, picking up some products, free shipping over all orders over $50. And we probably will be giving out some of these products for our meetup, all for members of lukeunfiltered.com, where, of course, we extensively talk about health. We're going to have another video available for members right after this one, talking about some other important issues that we can't get into on this broadcast, as, of course, domestically, the situation is not all right, and probably will not continue to be all right to the lead up of the 2024 presidential elections, as individuals like Kevin O'Leary have literally come out and described what has just happened to the former president of the United States, Donald Trump, with him being fined $355 million, comparing it to a travesty of injustice going on, and saying this on national television to the viewing audience on CNN that was shocked by his comments.
My only point is, did we just diminish the great state of New York and the great people of New York? And shouldn't they ask for better management so they don't become a flyover state? Remember, New York has the highest taxes in the country, the worst regulatory environment, and it's incredibly mismanaged. And I'm pointing out now, on top of that, you get this insanity, a victimless crime. And forget about Trump. It's not about Trump. I don't care about Trump in this. I care about America, and I care about entrepreneurship, and I care about democracy and the fairness. The judicial system is now being criticized. People are asking themselves, the bar of New York, is this judge rational to charge $355 million in a case where no one lost any money? Is that good for the people of New York? Should the people of New York wake up to this and say, what's happening to us? Why is this becoming so perverse? Why are we the focus of this injustice? And I have nothing to do with Trump. I'm not supporting Trump. I'm supporting American entrepreneurship. And New York is slowly becoming the number one loser state in America. I'm sorry. That's what's happening.
Describing a situation outside of politics that is worrisome to a lot of business leaders who now have to think about their political thoughts and expressions being politically prosecuted in places like New York City and having their businesses affected because of it. And that's not the country that, of course, we all grew up in. That's not the country that the United States purports itself to be, but it's becoming more and more of a banana republic-like state that, of course, punishes people because they have different political opinions than other people. And what Kevin Leary explained here, that this kind of judgment by a judge in New York highlights fears and concerns that is going to affect business in the state, as already a lot of people are talking about de-investing in New York City, leaving New York City and going to other places like, of course, Montana, West Virginia, and Florida, where people do not get punished for their political thoughts and expressions. Now, of course, other TV pundits and commentators have a different perspective on this, as, of course, Stephen Colbert on late night television decided to, of course, utter the same opinions as all other individuals who also have late night television programs, and celebrated the news of Donald Trump being arbitrarily punished for what Kevin Leary described as a victimless crime. He played a clip of Donald Trump essentially saying that this is a sad day in New York, which Stephen Colbert decided to ask his audience if they thought today was sad, and most of them celebrated the news that the former president of the United States is being politically prosecuted, clapping, cheering, and showing their joy for what Stephen Colbert said was justice. And again, this happiness, this cheering with the politicization of the justice system, as well as the more kind of unhinged rants by Stephen Colbert that are becoming more and more delusional, that are becoming more and more strange by the day, highlight a very important turning point in American politics, that it's bringing us towards a larger clash point that I sadly believe that there's no going back from. As, of course, a lot of this delusion is being fed by crazy individuals that are talking about things that absolutely have no merit at all. As famous insider trading drunk Nancy Pelosi just came out and said that Trump is still somehow being blackmailed by Putin. As, of course, Trump is one of the most investigated men in, I think, all of recorded human history. And I think all of his dirt, all of his comments, including private comments that he made before, have already been publicly released to the general public. And that there's not a lot of secrets left from a man that's being investigated by almost every single jurisdiction inside of the United States. This has hyperbolic, sensationalistic rhetoric about Russia definitely isn't helping the situation, as the United States is currently involved in a proxy war with Russia that, of course, is only escalating and endangering the rest of the world, as now an American ballerina is being held for high treason in a Russian court after she is being accused of raising $51 for the Ukrainian army. This, as an alleged defector of the Russian military, allegedly has been taken out in Spain. And U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham was just added to a list of terrorists by the Russian government, as a lot of people are still trying to foot the blame on Trump, who, again, is not in political office right now, but it definitely seems like the Democrats can't stop talking about him and his alleged partnership with Russia, which, again, was never really there. They lied about it. They lied about it from the very beginning. They talked about collusion that was never there. The intelligence agencies sold us a lie and what many people believe to be predictive programming to the larger buildup of a conflict that is already on our doorsteps. A conflict that is ridiculous and absolutely pointless, in my opinion. And if you agree, share this video with your friends and family members. I got one more video coming your way right now on lukeunfiltered.com, and a live podcast happening later on today, 6 p.m. Eastern. See you there. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys, and this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.